Hey, and welcome to Hank's True Barbecue. Now, today we're going to cook pulled pork, which is a classic. I've done that before, but today we're going to do it fully automated. I'm going to show you how to modify the grill and how to get the whole thing set up. Now, automating a cook is really nice because you don't have to go check the vents every hour or so to make sure it stays relatively flat. And there are tools to help you do that, specifically different thermometers and controllers and fans. Now, as for thermometers, I've been using one called FireBoard. This is the FireBoard 2. I had the FireBoard 1 and I was running it with the same setup. The difference between FireBoard 1 and 2 is in order to run it with a fan that controls temp for you, you had to have an adapter cable called the drive cable, which was ridiculously expensive. Don't know why. With the FireBoard 2, that controller cable is built in. The nice thing about using this one is it's like an all-in-one package. I need a thermometer anyway, since it has the controller built in, why not use it? There are different other brands out there, Barbecue Guru, CyberQ, etc. So I haven't compared any of them, I'm simply using the stuff I already have. The nice thing about the FireBoard though is it works with any fan. So I bought myself the Barbecue Guru from the Pit Viper from Barbecue Guru, which is simply an electronic 12-volt fan, and I can plug it into this one and control it. So the whole point of automating the cook is it's done by putting the fan at the bottom of the grill so it can supply air to the charcoal burning or the briquettes. And at the same time we tune the vents down a bit because you typically always want to have the fan running at a low speed. So because if the controller determines that we need to shut down or close or lower the temp a bit, it's really good to have the vent set a bit too much closed so that if this fan actually stops pushing air through, the draft lessens or reduces, and that means temp goes down. Now to get the fan mounted on the kettle, we're going to have to drill a hole, and I bought this adapter from Barbecue Guru that fits the fan. So we're going to have to make a hole about this big in the kettle. We're going to drill through it using a step drill bit, which is the easiest way ever. Plug this in and then mount the fan. I'm going to show you the whole setup and then we can get the cook going. But let's first look into the kettle, and I'm going to show you exactly where you place this one because you need to take care of or consider a few things before actually drilling a hole. It's always good to have a think through before you start going through the enamel and everything. Now, let's go through this one. This is the thermometer, here's the fan, this is the adapter. This little metal shield here goes on the inside, so when air hits it, it goes down through the bottom. And this is what the adapter looks like on the inside. And there's also a kill plug here to plug it in when you're not using it, so you're not pulling air through this adapter while not using the fan. Also, regardless of where I place this one, I want to position the slow-ins here on the opposite side so the air goes down here, follows the bottom of the grill, and then comes up underneath the charcoal. Now in my case for this grill, the levers are right here on the outside, so I want to position this slightly to the right here. That means I have control of where to mount the fan, and I can also get access to the levers on the same side without having to run around the grill. Which means that typically my slow-ins here is always going to position here. But let's get to drilling. Now one more thing before drilling. Now this is a dirt cheap kettle, so I don't have that big old ash sweeper in the bottom like most Weber kettles have, well all Weber kettles. And the ash sweeper extends quite a bit up, so make sure you position the vent or adapter right here, right beneath the bottom grate, but no longer, because then you can see that the ash sweeper actually clears it so it doesn't jam. Very important, take a quick look, hold it in place and test it just to make sure you have clearance. It works because I've done it previously on my Weber kettle before I sold it, so I know it's working, just to know that you need to check the details. Now I just rotated the grill, so I'm going to position mine right here, which is perfect for me. So just going to tap a little bit and then you get a pilot drilled. Drilling a small pilot isn't absolutely needed, but I think it really helps when going after following up with the step drill, so I recommend it. And as you can see, it takes 5 seconds. Now this is what a step drill bit looks like. As you can see, it has a conical shape, so you just keep going until the hole is big enough for your needs. So this is what I'm gonna get done now. Now, as you can see, that was quick and easy. If you want to, you can just put some grease on the bare metal if you want to. I'm thinking it's going to grease up itself, so I'll just leave it as is. As you can see, it fits right beneath the grate and everything's good. Air is going to blow down and then up. So when running with the fan, always close the bottom vent. You just want to have one input or entry and one exit for the air, otherwise you can't control it. So, but that's looking good, which means the slow ones here is going to be here, opposite this one, and we're just going to fill it up with charcoal. So this is what it looks like on the outside with the adapter. Here's the fan. And there's a small O-ring here, so I'm just going to slide it in gently like that. Fan is mounted, ready to go. So we're just going to plug this little end into the FireBoard. One more thing that is good to tell you about is that this controller, just like many other controllers, have what's called a lid detection system or feature or software. What does that mean? Well, if you take the lid off to brush or baste the meat, that means temp is going to drop radically. Obviously, because you take the lid off. Now, as soon as it does so, you don't want the controller to start compensating by getting the fan up to 100%. Because as soon as you put the lid back on, the fan is blowing and you're going to overshoot on temp quite a bit. So this one has, well, what I'd like to call a delay. Simply, you can set from 1 to 7 minutes or so. I can't remember the exact details. I'll check, but that typically means that it detects that the lid was opened. You put the lid back on, then it waits a full minute or whatever you have configured before it starts adjusting again. Because it's quite normal, obviously, that you remove the lid to spray or baste meat or just check temps every now and then. And you don't want the controller and the fan to overcompensate and then have your temp running away. So I think that's really, really smart. Anyhow, I think we're all set for smoking some good old pork butt. Let's get some charcoal in there and then prep the meat when it's thawed fully. I'm just going to run this with both vents open, get it up to temp around 110, 115 Celsius. I'm aiming for 130. So when we're getting close, that's when I'm going to close the bottom vent, close the top vent a little too much, and then get the fan plugged in. But first, let's get up to temp. So we'll come across 100 degrees. I'm going to drop in some wood chunks, cherry wood chunks for smoke flavor, always going to be good. Since we're getting close, I'm actually going to put the pork butt on right now, close the bottom vent, and start adjusting the fan. So bottom vent closed, going to put the lid on, vent opposite the fire, but in this case, I'm going to close it a bit because now we're going to tune in the FireBoard, get it started with the automated running. So I'll show you on a screen recording right now. So from now on it should be smooth sailing. I'm just gonna sit back, enjoy the show, let the fan run and let the FireBoard controller adjust temp accordingly. As you can see, I closed the top vent quite a bit, may even close it just a bit further, but I'll monitor it and see what happens, how it behaves. So this has been humming along for a few hours, rock steady. Check out the temp curve on this one, it looks perfect. So we're about 74 degrees Celsius, which means we're into the stall, in the beginning of the stall, so I'm thinking I'm gonna wrap this one and then keep going when it's wrapped. So I use two layers of foil as always. Gonna straighten this up a bit, try to shape the boat, but we're also gonna add some beer for moisture. About half a cup, a little less. Make sure you get a real snug fit. Now this goes back on the grill. I was gonna grab that with my hands, but I'm not. Time to get some gloves. And we'll let this run till it's done, 95 degrees Celsius. So the cook's done. We're gonna put the meat in the faux cambro. Those of you who have watched my videos before know that I'm a stickler for using this one. I have a restaurant grade faux cambro which isolates very well, so I'm gonna use this one. Anyhow, 5.5 hour cook, pretty quick I would say for pulled pork, and I wasn't even pushing temps, running at 130, so really nice. But let's get this one into the faux cambro and then we can pull it in a few hours. So as you could see, that was quite simple. Having the FireBoard and the Pit Viper rock solid products monitor the cook for me couldn't make things easier. All in all, a 5.5 hour cook plus a few hours rest. Plus you can't beat classic pulled pork. Another benefit is that the FireBoard has cloud connectivity, which means you can monitor it from your app in the smartphone even if you leave the house, as long as the thermometer is connected to your Wi-Fi. I think that's just rock solid. Alright, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you like the videos, and I'll see you guys next episode.